I wanted to talk to you about emotions. So I'm just going to start a series called The Magic of Emotions, because I believe that emotional mastery is key to a balanced and healthy, happy life. And so the one emotion I'm going to talk to you today about is anger, the biggie. So most people sort of shun anger as something that's not appropriate. You don't get angry, you deal with your emotions internally. And so we often have a society that has learnt to suppress emotions, and in particular anger. And so we've learned it's been labelled bad, and sometimes we label emotions bad or good. And that's just not the case. Emotions are just emotion. And you might have heard the saying, energy in motion. And so I wanted to share with you why I think anger could be really good for you. Healthy anger can be good for you. I'm not talking about violence. I'm talking about when we feel this energy that comes up within us to create action. So anger is a very action-orientated energy. And so the first thing I want to say about anger is that it helps us know when a boundary has been crossed. So you might have been having a conversation with someone and all of a sudden you start to feel a bit irritated and angry. And if you think back to the conversation and just tune in, you might realize that something has been said that doesn't match your truth and is in conflict with your beliefs or values. You could also be an indication of when you have crossed your own boundary. You might have said yes to doing something for someone or going out, or when you really, really mean no, but you're too kind or nice to say no. So anger is really good to show us about boundaries. I also call anger like a change catalyst. It's sort of, it's not the lowest vibration. If you look at the vibrational scale, it's kind of like, it's sort of, a third of the way up. And so what it does is help us lift out of despair and shame and guilt and those lower vibrations. If you think about someone who might have been going through divorce, and I've been through divorce myself, and you sort of go into this shocked state, and there could be this, real grief, and this really inert kind of despair and depression that comes around some of these things. And then you go through the phases, if you like, and the phases of grief, and one of those phases is anger. And the reason why anger comes up is because it helps move us and propel us forward. So we might even have these feelings of revenge, to the ex. And whilst society would say, oh no, we can't have feelings of revenge. I'm a nice person and I don't do that. Revenge for a short moment is an excellent energy to move up into, because it starts to lift you up into action. Now, I'm not saying that you stay there for months and plan a full-scale revenge attack on your ex, but I do say feel it in order to get up to the next level, the next high vibrational thought. We can't go from despair to bliss in one jump. So we move up through these emotions. So next time anger comes up, don't stop it. Because what often happens is we get to this next level of thought, which is anger, and we go, oh no, anger's not good, I'll go back to despair. And then I try again and I get up and, oh no, that's not good, I better go back. And so we need to go up and keep moving. And so change catalyst is anger. And so it helps create action, it helps us move forward. You might have heard it called the fire in the belly. And so use it to propel you forward. And so what happens if we don't use anger, if we suppress it? It can show up in our body in many ways. It can create a lot of impact on our physical body. It's people who hold on to anger can hold it in the jaw. And so imagine the clenched jaw and the tight fist and the muscles that clench up. If we are consistently in an energy of anger, we're in this tight, contracted state, and it can just lock up in our body. It affects our blood pressure. It's really, really well known for affecting blood pressure. And so I often, if someone is angry, I can, and they have high blood pressure, I can feel it in their lower back, in the chakra there, in the energy center there. And that's one of the first places we sweep out. Anger is connected in Chinese medicine to the liver. And so we're trying to kind of like detox energy and emotions. And so the liver is the one that really is affected by anger. If we don't express anger, it sort of sits within us as an irritation, and so it has to come out somewhere, and often you could experience skin conditions. The other thing that happens with anger is that it's like our chi is coming up to be expressed, and it builds up and sort of centers around the head area, and we can get headaches. You know, this clenched activity, and you know, someone might go bright red in the face and blotchy skin when they're angry. And so, you know, in its worst case scenario, you know, you could have a stroke. And so anger needs to be released in a healthy way. And so don't suppress your anger. Learn how to release it and experience it, and find out why it's there. What's the boundary that might have been crossed? And learn to see anger as your friend and a signal, like a signpost. It can also affect your mood. You know, you can be really irritated and fly off the handle because you've suppressed it for so long, and then just one more drip and you explode. So you can be really easily irritated, and it really affects your energy levels. You can have really low energy. So anger can be your friend. It can be a signpost, and if suppressed, it can be very unhealthy. So I'm going to post another video very shortly to give you some good tips on how to express anger and let it go. So thanks for listening today, and I'll be seeing you soon.